All right, hello everybody. I should be live, so let me know if I'm live and my audio is good or not in the chat. But I just wanted to thank all of you guys for coming out tonight to celebrate 1,000 subscribers. Now, unfortunately, I'm not at the layout, obviously, but this should be the last live show where I'm not at the layout for quite some time, as I am going home for the winter holiday very soon. But like I said in the description, I will be doing a giveaway tonight, and I'll talk about that a little bit later as more people come on. But yeah, I just want to say thank you guys, everybody, for subscribing and liking and watching all my videos. 1,000 subscribers is a huge milestone, and like I've said before, when I started my YouTube channel, I never thought I'd get above like 200 subscribers. And here I am today, really only about 10 and a half months after I started my YouTube channel with 1,000 subscribers. So, once again, just thank you everybody for liking and subscribing to my videos. Make sure you like the like button on this one, just so it helps to get out to everybody just a little bit easier. But yeah, really, guys, thank you so much for coming out tonight. So just going through the chat here, saying hello to some of you guys. Ian's Trains, New York Rail Fanning, Al's Trains, Rail Chief 74, Ant's Trains, Randy Jacobs, Matt's Trains, Matty C. How you doing, Matt? Hope you're enjoying your break. Kaz GX. Hey, and Sam from Sam's O-Gauge Trains. My co-host on the Model Train Talk podcast. We're going to be talking about that a little bit more later tonight as I talk about the giveaway. But go check out Sam's channel. Go check out the podcast channel. Really great stuff happening over there. And thank you, everybody, for your warm congratulations. One of the things that I want to be doing in the near future is that I want to put together a video of people with smaller channels out there in the O-Scale world or model train world that have really great channels and really good video production quality, and just people who deserve more followers and likes than they're getting. And so one of the first things I want to use, like with this huge platform that I've accumulated, is making sure that these smaller users out there can get the exposure that they need to grow. Because I know I certainly got a lot of help along the way, and I just want to reciprocate that and pay it forward. All right, so my friend Bob, he asks, how does it feel to hit the big one? It feels great. I never thought I'd hit this number, and here I am, 1,000 subscribers, which I never thought that I would hit. And it's just, I don't want to say surreal because it's not that groundbreaking of a feat in life, but not too many train YouTubers out there get 1,000 subscribers, and worked my butt off. There were days in August where I was recording and editing 3 videos a day, just so I would have content to upload while I was away at school. So this certainly isn't, I put no work into this. I worked my butt off to get to here, and that's the biggest piece of advice I can give to anybody else. If you want this, if you want a big following, put the work in. Ian, he asked, if you could get any NS Heritage unit, which one would you get? He would get the Pennsy. Well, I already have the New York Central Heritage unit. If I had to pick one, I'd probably go with the Southern, just because it's an ES44 and I have an Ace. I also really like the Pennsy, but I'd probably go Southern. Also, the original NS Shortline paint scheme. That one's a cool one. I like the orange. Hello, Steve. Hope you're doing good tonight. And just thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. Steven, um, he's certainly a big mentor for me in the hobby, and he has a great channel. Which, if you guys have watched my live streams, I've said in every live stream to go subscribe to his channel. So if you aren't already, then do it. Uh, Michael, he has a great Instagram page, and he has a great small layout. And once again, another friend in the hobby. And hello, Mike from Cross Anchors Railroad. All right, so it looks like we have about 20 people currently on the live stream. We're about 6 minutes in. So I'll talk about the giveaway real quick, and then we'll go back to the Q&A portion of the video. So I'm not at the layout right now, so I don't have like freight cars or like actual train stuff to give away. So what I have planned is, oops, upside down, is that I have this nice Amtrak poster. It's pretty old. It has the F40 on it, passing Olympia, Washington. It's a pretty nice poster. I gotta make sure that, because of the delay on the live stream. Okay. Poster was way off. But, so this is what I'm gonna be giving away. Give you guys a little bit more time to look at it, because I didn't know how to hold it up to the camera. Gotta make sure it's in frame. There we go. But, so the rules of the giveaway are pretty simple. First, you have to be subscribed to my channel. I mean, we're doing a 1,000 subscriber giveaway, so you have to make sure you're subscribed to my channel. The second thing is that you have to be subscribed to the Model Train Talk podcast channel. Now, I am a co-host along with Sam of Sam's O-Gauge Trains, and although I'm a co-host, that's Sam's channel, and Sam does a magnificent job with it. Each and every time we have fabulous conversations with our guests. And so part of this contest is that you have to also be subscribed to the Model Train Talk podcast channel. And in order to be entered into the contest, I need to see picture proof that you're subscribed to both my channel and the Model Train Talk podcast channel. So you're going to screenshot proof of that, and you're going to email it to rjtrainsyt@gmail.com, and all of that information is in the description of this video. Maybe when we hit 2,000 subscribers, I'll do something a little bit nicer, like a freight car or something like that. But yep, I was given quite a large collection of Amtrak memorabilia by a really good friend of mine, and I had 2 of those posters, so I wanted to give one away to one of you guys for supporting me, and I figured it'd be a nice way to give back to my viewers. But yep, just once again, all you have to do is be subscribed to my channel, be subscribed to the Model Train Talk podcast channel, and email proof to rjtrainsyt@gmail.com. Pretty simple. Rail Chief 74 asks, have I ever been in front of the real Virginian rectifier? No, I haven't. I didn't know that they're still around, but that'd be a really interesting engine to see in person. I have 2 rectifiers. One is the original Lionel Postwar from 1958, I believe, and the second is the Lion Chief reiteration, and that's in the N&W. After the N&W and Virginian merged, all of the rectifiers were painted into the N&W paint scheme. And then eventually those lines are no longer electrified today. And you're welcome, Sam. Like I said, it's a great channel, great conversations, make sure you're subscribed. And now you guys have a real reason to finally go check out the channel in order to be entered into the giveaway. So Corey asked, Corey says his parents want to know if my layout is still up at home. When I left in August, it was standing. Unless my parents pulled a quick one on me, I hope it's still standing. But I haven't seen visual confirmation that it's still standing. So I'm really hoping it's still standing when I get home. I was so close to being done too. It'd be a shame if it was all taken down. And speaking of my layout and future video ideas, in the last recording of the Model Train Talk podcast that I did with Sam, I don't know when it's going to be up. I guess Sam will put in the chat when he think it'll be up. But I talked a lot about future videos that I'm going to do, and I unveiled a new locomotive that I haven't showed off on my Instagram or here on YouTube. So only a couple of my friends in the hobby have seen this locomotive. So I'm not going to show that locomotive off on any of my social media until the podcast is posted. So once that new podcast is released, make sure to go check out that video to see what locomotive I could have possibly have picked up. Those of you who are loyal and close viewers of my channel could probably guess, but it's going to be up there. So make sure you go and you subscribe to the Model Train Talk podcast channel on YouTube. So as soon as it is released, you will be able to see what engine I picked up. And Sam says that he hopes to have it out on Friday, which would be great. So you guys can all see it. And Bob is teasing Sam, talking about adding a lighted caboose up on the mountain. And it's all right, Sam. I made him add a trolley loop to his layout, so the lighted caboose isn't nothing. And thank you, Ants Trains. And so the way how I'm gonna pick out the winner of the giveaway is that I'm going to take all of the emails that I received, and I'm just going to enter it into a random number generator, and I'll either upload the random number generator pick on YouTube or I'll do it on my Instagram. But either way, since you're emailing me your contest entries, I'll be able to have a way to contact you and find out and get your address so I'm able to send it to you. Hello, Dackman. Hope you're having a good evening. I found that these Tuesday night streams tend to work out best. I mean, Cross Anchors Railroad and GFW, they've really got the, and Corey's Trains, you guys have Thursday through Sunday on lockdown. So I'm going to go with Tuesday. I think I'm going to pick that day. I don't know if I'm going to make this a weekly thing going forward, especially being back home, even though school's going to be winding down in the next month or so. I still have work and other things. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to commit to a live stream every week, but I like doing these live streams. It's a way for me to, connect and talk immediately with you. Matt says, when do I plan on doing the giveaway? The giveaway is going to end 1 week from today, just so people who aren't able to watch the live stream live, they can go back and watch this and find out the rules. So it's going to be picked Tuesday of next week. That would be November 25th. And so hopefully the winner of the contest should have their prize by the beginning of December. Corey, it's Ants Trains. I'll check out your channel after the stream ends. Yeah, Corey, you overnight, you all of a sudden, I think you're up to 4 weeks now streaming on Sunday nights out of nowhere. And I feel bad I haven't been able to tune in, but I go to church Sunday nights, so like the exact frame where you stream, I'm in church. So I do go back and watch them though. Okay, yes, Matt's right. Next Tuesday is the 24th. If you, my dates are all screwed up right now. If you go back and check my community post about this live stream, I said today was the 16th, so I'm just all over the place right now. Yeah, 8 days a week. The Beatles would be proud. I hope there's more than 3 people out there that got that Beatles reference. All right, so Bob, a couple questions coming in from Bob and Corey. Bob asks, when building your layout, what did you work on that was much easier than you thought? And what turned out to be a giant headache you thought could be cake? Okay, so giant headache comes to my mind right off the top of my head, and that's I built my layout so it could be taken apart into the 3 tables because I still needed to finish like the walls and paint them. So we made the tables to be able to be taken apart, and the tables could come apart, but I ended up having to rip up much of my track, and so all of the track on my layout had been ripped up and relaid. I want to say like around layout update number 10 when the backdrops were added. That was a major pain in the butt, but thankfully the ballast wasn't started yet, so it wasn't as bad as I thought. But the entire track had to be ripped up and relayed, which was just a giant pain in the butt. The easiest thing when it came to working on the layout, probably the scenery. For some reason, I'm okay at scenery, and it just seemed to go a lot easier than it did on my last layout. And that's because I've learned a lot with my last layout on how to properly do scenery and how to properly glue things, so that went a lot easier. All right, chat's going fast, kind of. RJ, I know a few people who got to know what's currently on the bucket list. Anything you're looking around for on the layout? Um, I have my eyes and heart set on a MTH Premier Long Island Railroad E6 Atlantic passenger set that's over on a it's over on a hobby store's website uh, that I've been keeping my eyes on. But mainly right now, I'm saving my money because if Lionel were to release a scale Strasbourg item, the prices are going to be through the roof. So, I'm talking probably over a grand, around a grand for a locomotive plus passenger cars. And so I'm keeping my money cautiously and saving it for, you know, for a Strasbourg locomotive. But I do plan on doing a huge unboxing video when I get home because um, I've picked up a lot of things and I've had some good friends send me some things. And so it'll probably be like a 40-minute unboxing video for you guys. Probably 2 dozen pieces of rolling stock, uh, 4 engines, a lot. It's going to be a lot of stuff. So R strings. Hi RJ, I just missed the Beatles reference. Lance, I said that a week from today was November 25th, so 8 days in a week. Corey, it does always have to be Long Island. Like the stuff that you pick up, needs to be D&H. So yeah, Ian, it's gonna be. I already have one Strasbourg passenger car, so I don't need like a five-car set of Strasbourg passenger cars, especially with my small layout. I only want to pick up one or two more, so I might just pick up some of the MTH Premier line Strasbourg uh, cars that are sitting on Nicholas Smith right now, because they did a whole bunch of custom runs of Strasbourg passenger cars. So this way, I only have to buy the engine, but Railsheep 74X, who did the backdrops for your layout? And I painted those. It took me about 3 days in total, and it's about eight. It's 24 feet by 2 feet tall. So we're talking 48 square feet. And I painted it all by hand. It took me about 3 days. Uh, Not perfect, but what are you gonna do? It works for my layout, and it's a small layout. So Al says legacy steam locomotives are expensive, around 1,200 because I have like four of them. Yeah, but Lionel is making the legacy steam locomotives a lot more affordable. For example, the 10-wheelers that were in the Volume 2 catalog that I pre-ordered one of them, my first legacy steam locomotive. When they first were cataloged with just plain legacy, no smoking whistle or any of that, they were $800 MSRP, and this next go around with the whistle steam, the MSRP was like $700. So they're getting more affordable. They're still pretty expensive, but in price. All right, New York Rail fanning. Have a good night. Thanks for stopping in. Once again, thank you everybody for just tuning into the live stream here. I figured I'd go about an hour tonight. I don't really have all that much exciting stuff to show off. All of my train stuff is right now packed away in all of their boxes, waiting to return back to Long Island this weekend when I head back home from school. But like I said, if you tune into the Model Train Talk podcast, hopefully on Friday evening, you'll be able to see a brand new locomotive I haven't shown off on my channel yet. Rail Chief 74 asks, what are my thoughts on Lionel bringing back the swinging bell in their steam locomotives? I think the swinging bell is just a amazing feature. I believe it was first on the Vision Line Hudson, which is always amazing. And when they did the last run of the New York Central S2s, the electrical units, they had the swinging bells. So Lionel's still making the swinging bells. But if you give me the option of a swinging bell or smoking whistle, I'm going to choose the smoking whistle just because more smoke. But one day it should be around as affordable to be able to add in that swinging bell and smoking whistle and not jack up the price too much. Yeah, Bob, if Lionel's going to charge $700 for a 10-wheeler, it isn't that bad. MTH is charging more than that. Yeah, I mean, a Premier Line Atlantic on its own is $800, and, no smoking whistle. Although I do like the MTH sounds a little bit more. $100, and you're getting pretty much just the same amount of locomotive. I do hope, though, that MTH comes back, and who knows? Apparently, there was some good news on a live stream that Andy from MTH did, and MTH isn't completely dead yet in terms of manufacturing, so there's still a light you can see at the end of the tunnel. Oh my! I didn't know that the H10s also had the swinging bells. I knew they had the smoking whistles. I would pick up an H10, and I know where I could pick up a Long Island Railroad H10. But the one thing that really bothers me about the H10s is that the red on the cab roof and the red on the tender are two different shades. Um, it just bothers me. If I'm gonna pay that much for a locomotive, I kind of want it to be matching. But I mean, that's what you're getting with Lionel nowadays. I mean, if you look at their CSX Veterans Unit, Ravenhawk 6910 did a video about it, and they missed a whole shade of camo, and they're missing a like a veterans memorial on the back of the locomotive. Their KCS Heritage Unit was too many shades off on both the green, the red, and the blue. Eh, I'm sad to see MTH go. That's all I'm gonna say. RJ, if you could go back in time and get any train set brand new, what would it be? The Santa Fe F3 set from the post-war era with the aluminum cars. Um, I mean, that's what made me fall in love with those scale trains. That my first set was an MTH Proto Sounds 2 Santa Fe F3 passenger set. So I would go back in time and wake up Christmas morning with the Santa Fe F3 running around the tree. I didn't know that the color variant between the roof and the tender is prototypical. Now that changes my opinion on it. Mike, you can't do this to me because now I'm gonna look at it more seriously. Well, has a few locomotives that the colors are off, but it's amazing how they can get something off like a shade of blue on the KCS Veterans Unit, but yet they nail the color of blue on the Conrail T1. It's really just close your eyes and hit or miss. A Bengals fan 444T. Hello. I know that MTH diesel engine, including my Washington football team, one has smoke coming out. I wish Lionel and MTH could make trains for other sports league, including the National Women's Soccer League and MLS. I mean, yeah, I personally love sports trains. I have three New York Mets cars because that's my sport. But I do have my eyes on an Indianapolis Colts box car because they're my football team. Regardless, though, um, I would like to see them make more sports licensed products. The only problem is that MTH and Lionel have to pay these, the NWSL and the MLS money to use their logos and their team logos, and you also have to weigh the demand of like how many people in the three rail O-scale hobby want a National Women's Soccer League boxcar, and what's the production cost of that. And so for that reason, I think you're probably better off finding a cheap Rail King or Lionel boxcar on eBay and painting it up for your team's colors. Yes, Bob, MTH did do a Met Subway set. They're extremely hard to find, um, but still cool nonetheless. And Lionel did one with an M7 set. You got two Yankees cars and two Mets cars in the set. And it's interesting, but it didn't sell well because if you're a Yankees fan, you don't want the Mets cars, and as a Mets fan, I don't want the Yankees cars. And so they discontinued the set after a year, and then they changed it to an all Yankee set because nobody was buying a half Met and half Yankee set. If you're not from New York, you understand like, oh, that would be a good idea because like the Subway Series. But at the end of the day, I'm not paying $300 for something that's half Yankees. Yeah, Corey Williams does have a lot of colors that are off, but you're not paying $550 for a Williams diesel locomotive. Um, I think that's the main difference that we're looking at here. I mean, the newest diesel switchers from Williams, I mean, they go for like $250. You can find the 44 tonners for $130 online. So it's a big difference between $133 for a locomotive and $530 for a locomotive. Colts are 6-3 and won a big game on the road against the Titans. Yes, they did. Angela Trotta Thomas, she's amazing. Like her artwork, especially people my age, we don't know about Angela Trotta Thomas that much. I mean, yeah, we see her cars in the catalog, but we just think it's this artist. But she used to do all the covers for the Lionel catalogs, and I personally have the 2002 Volume 1 catalog, which is kind of like an honoring 9/11 um, catalog cover. It's like these two kids with their dad standing behind them, who are one's a fireman, one's a police officer, and there's a firehouse in the background. And immediately they're looking at like a hobby store and some New York Central train cars. So for that reason, I mean, that's special to me. So I have that one catalog. But she does some amazing artwork that's really underappreciated by us younger kids. A lot of her artwork was actually just auctioned off, part of the Richard Kuhn collection. And I was looking at some stuff, but fine train art is not necessarily in the average 20-year-old's budget or immediately want list. So I didn't pick anything up, but she has some really amazing artwork if you take the time to go and look at it. So Bengals 444T, what's my opinion on Lionel releasing Pixar-themed cars and engines this year? So fun fact, when I was young, I'm talking like third, fourth grade, I was asked by a Lionel representative, like what kids my age would like to see in order for them to buy train sets. And one of the recommendations I made, I still have the piece of paper, and somewhere there's the email, but I still have the piece of paper where I wrote out the idea for a Pixar themed stuff, and more specifically a Toy Story train set, which Lionel put in the last catalog. So I got a good chuckle out of that when I saw it. It only took 12 years for my ideas to come to fruition, but there they were. Ian says, I've been trying to find an MTH Rail King diesel locomotive. What is a good locomotive that I can find for kind of a cheap price? I suggest if you're getting anything MTH and it's your first time getting something MTH, get something Produce Sound 3. So that's going to be something made after like 2010, 2011 or later. I know that on Train World, they have some Rail King diesel locomotives going for less than $250, which is a really good price. Even when you buy them secondhand, you're not really going to find you're going to find an MTH Rail King locomotive in that 300 to 340 price span. Listen, Corey, my first thought is that I should have gotten some royalties. Whether or not they used my idea or not, I thought of it 12 years ago. So I'm glad that Lionel finally got to getting around to my ideas. But I can say, though, is that the Frozen train set was all Sam's idea. It's one of his favorite movies. And I passed that along to the Lionel rep for Sam. All right, Lance, take care. Enjoy dinner. But when I think of some of the other sets that I made, like I suggested, the only other one that I can remember is bringing, other than the Disney Pixar themed trains, was bringing back like the exploding box cars in the set, because who doesn't like breaking things? But other than that, I really can't remember. I mean, I came up with like a dozen or so ideas, but I always thought, If you make the Pixar themed train, that would be a good seller. If you make the Toy Story train, that would be a good seller. And here they are, a dozen years later. Hello, Nick. How you doing tonight? So my anything in that recently acquired collection we should be excited about seeing. All I'm gonna say is that there's something for everybody in the collection. There are scale steam locomotives and passenger cars. There's Long Island commuter cars. There's O27 freight cars. There's MTH. There's Lionel. There's diesel locomotives. There's steam locomotives. There's electric locomotives. I guarantee that if you watch the video, you're going to find something that you're like, wow, that's actually pretty nice. It's just not all Long Island stuff. There's Long Island, there's Southern, there's UP, there's some fun fantasy trains. So there's something for everybody. And as I'm looking at the boxes now from my perspective over here, I'm also adding a couple of railroads that haven't been introduced to the Long Island and Southern yet. And I am also getting in some older stuff, some stuff that's older than me, and even some post-war. Corey, if I could make my own train set, what would it look like? If I was making a starter set, well, yeah, of course I would make it something Long Island related. Even if it was just a Lionel Lion Chief 080 with Long Island painted on the tender. The Long Island Railroad had Pennsylvania 080s that come in the starter sets. And plus, every time I go to Train World or Trainland, every time I hear a mother ask, "Oh, can I have a Long Island Railroad set?" And the guy goes like, "Yeah, sure. We have the M7 set." And the woman says, usually it's the mom, and the mom says, "Oh, but do you have like the black one where the smoke comes out?" No, we don't have any Long Island Railroad sets like that. Like even if it was just like a hobby store exclusive to Train World, I would go with like a Long Island 080 set. But dream set, I'd go 080, exploding boxcar, some sort of like crane car, and then like a work caboose. I think that would be a really great set for kids. Bob says more Rudolph. The MTH Rudolph set it's really a cool set, and Bob was showing me his where it actually plays clips from the movie, and that was a genius idea. And it was actually one of the original sets that kept me into the O scale market, even though I never got the locomotive. Yeah, Corey, I know what yours would look like, but that Rudolph set was very fascinating. I mean, it's just a rugged rails 280 from MTH, but it's a really interesting set. And you can kind of tell that MTH was trying to do 15 years ago what Lionel's doing now with like the more marketable products like Disney. I mean, MTH was trying to get into the Disney business, but unfortunately that flopped for them. Actually, my buddy Matt, who was in the chat earlier tonight, he's putting together a whole O-scale Disney train with Disney-related, custom-built Disney flat cars and freight cars, and he's even painting up an MTH 260 or 460 into the Walter E. Disney. And it's really an impressive project, and we got to get his YouTube channel really back up and going so he can start filming on his layout and the club layout. Ravenhawk 6910, how you doing tonight? Corey, you really thought out that set. I'm just going for a starter set. Yes, Sam, we did mention it on the podcast. I feel bad, a little bit of spoiling the podcast, but there's still a lot of great conversations Sam and I had on the podcast. Al asked, would I consider getting the Polar Express set? I want the Polar Express set. I think it's a cool set. It would look great around Christmas time, but I just don't want to spend the money on it. There's a lot of other stuff out there in the market that I'd rather spend money on. One day I'd like a Polar Express set, but right now it's just not the time. And thank you, Matt's Trains and Tractors. Glad. I'm also glad that you could make it tonight. Uh, Matt's also got a really good channel too, and he's definitely going to be included in this video where I talk about some of the underappreciated channels here on YouTube. Oh, nice, Ravenhawk. I can't wait to see what you got. You've picked up some like really cool stuff from the MTH auctions. There's one more auction that ends, well, not just one more. There's another auction that ends tomorrow night, and I've got my eyes on some stuff. So I think it might be the first time that I pick up some stuff from the MTH auctions, which I'm really looking forward to. I'm not going to say what, so you guys can snipe me, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. Ravenhawk, I'd go for the scale one personally. I'd like to get the Polar. I mean, I would love to get the scale Polar Express, but besides budgetary reasons, the biggest curve on my layout is 048, and so the Berkshire would cry on an 048 curve. But in a world where my layout or money wasn't an issue, I would have definitely picked up a scale Polar Express by now. Yeah, Lionel did make a Frosty the Snowman train a few years ago. But I think Lionel's going to stick to just like the generic Christmas music trains just because it's cheaper to make. Corey, you do need the CP holiday train with how much CCP locomotives out there. Um, I'd probably pick up the CP holiday train before the Polar Express, a scale Polar Express set for some reason. But uh, Ravenhawk, actually, the website has an anti-sniping mechanism on it. Yeah, but I just mean like somebody knowing what I want to bid and then also bidding against me at the last second. So, um, if you guys, if I do pick up something from the MTH auction, there will be an unboxing video when you guys find out what I get. All right, Sam, take care. I know you're busy with school and swimming, so take care, get some rest, and eat something. All right, Ian asks, what are you talking about by MTH auctions? So, in June-ish, MTH announced that they're going out of business, as I'm sure everybody here probably knows. But part of their going out of business is that in their warehouse, they had all of like pre-production samples and just samples of products on hand, or even just extras of products in case customers break, so whatever. And so since they're going out of business and they got rid of their huge warehouse, they commissioned Cabin Fever Auctions to auction off everything that was in their warehouse. And so nearly every MTH product that you can think of in some form or another is being auctioned off in a series of auctions. Right now, they're on their third auction. And so with it, you get like a nice certificate saying that it comes from the MTH, warehouse. I don't know. I just want to pick up something to say I picked up something from the MTH warehouse auction, pre-production sample. And I think more than likely, at least one thing will be coming my way in the near future. So we will see. Yeah, Corey. I mean, we're all missing train shows, but I think that That next York that comes around, I think that a lot of us here in the O scale world is going to make a conservative effort to get there by any means possible. And I think that what's going to end up happening is that York is going to be limited to people who have already placed their badges. Like they already have their badges from the previous York shows that were canceled. And so this next time around, once York finally gets going back around, um, people like me aren't going to be able to go because I haven't, you know, reserved my badge yet. Bob says, regardless of any manufacturer, if you could add a feature, either sound or special effect, what would it be? I love the MTH sound effects. I love the station like this, now arriving at Babylon, train number 19. That's the coolest thing in my opinion. Um, the passenger sound effects on MTH are better than anything I've heard on the Lionel engine, except for fact maybe road specific crew talk. But if you give me accurate place name descriptions in the passenger sound effects, that's what I want on every locomotive. Oh, those SD38s from the Lionel catalog a couple of years ago, those are nice. I really like the NS one, but I'm holding out for a NS SD40-2 because that's my favorite locomotive in my favorite paint scheme. Diesel locomotive, I should add, not my favorite locomotive. Corey, don't I wish that we could do like a huge Strasburg meetup like GFW's talking about out of York, and then all of a sudden there's just like 100 O scale train YouTubers at Strasburg at a random day in April or October in at the Strasburg Railroad. That would be a great day. Um, I went to, as you guys probably know, I went to Strasburg for the first time in probably close to 13, 14 years a couple months ago, and I just love it. Cross anchors, you want passenger sounds from Lionel, you have to get a sound diner. I would get a sound diner, but it wouldn't fit on my layout. I think the smallest radius on a sound diner is 054. So, Michael, what we want to do is Sam and I is that, and we've talked about this before, but we want to have go to York and then do a live stream like one night after the train purchasing's done at York, and just have a live stream of all of our friends in the hobby who were there, and just talking about how the day was, what'd you pick up, and just make it this huge hangout, and be able to live stream it so people who aren't there are also able to hang out and crack jokes in the whole 9 yards. Ravenhawk, I never got a Lionel SD38. I thought Conrail one, and I'll patch it for NS. I shot one on the roster in Chattanooga in 2010. I haven't been to Strasburg since 2007. Really need to go back. Um, Ravenhawk, you have the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum. Probably, it's like a 20-minute drive from you, from where you're at, if I remember correctly. So you have 4501 and 630. That's enough to satisfy your Strasburg request. Next time I'm down there in the Chattanooga area, I really need to get to the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum, especially with my model of 4501 that I have now. All right, Steven, take care. Thank you for stopping in. Michael, it should be Sam and RJ, and I could have a booth or whatever next to theirs, so I'm not ripping their name. Everybody's gonna be welcomed on Corey. I could bring my two layouts. Corey, you can't bring an HO scale layout to York. That's sacrilegious. It's O scale or no scale. For the MTH biddings, is there a website I can go to? Yes, it's Cabin Fever Auctions. I'm sure somebody can put a link to it in the descriptions. I can't really, if I can, hold on, Cabin Fever Auction. I'm Googling for it now. Yes, the MTH auction ends tomorrow. That's the link to the auction. If you bid on anything that I'm bidding on, then please unsubscribe from me. But that's a joke. But Sid says, you know, the Roundhouse Gang will do that at New York recap. Yes, Sid. More than definitely, Roundhouse Gang is going to be there. And for those of you who may not know, Roundhouse Gang is a group chat. And if you check out the last uploaded episode of the Miles Train Talk podcast, it was Sam and I, Sid from Sid's Trains, our friend Matt and Blake, two fellow Long Islanders. And we had a really good conversation about the hobby. Gravenhawk. Matt, York is like the O-scale version of Amherst. I haven't been to Amherst or York, so I guess I'm really missing out. I've only been to about 5 train shows ever in person. And the biggest one I went to was at the Dulles Expo Center here in Virginia last February, just before COVID started. And it's a Greenberg's train show. And unfortunately, I was only able to stay for less than an hour, just because my girlfriend wasn't feeling well, and my other friend who was there was itching to get out. So unfortunately, I had to leave. But I mean, I was thinking if because riding the train just got a lot easier for me, but I was thinking about taking Amtrak up to the Amherst train show, um, if they were going to do it. But they're not, because everything that's happening in the world right now. But that would be amazing to take the train to the train show and then back from the train show. Talk about a day full of trains. All right, Ravenhawk, take care. Have a good night. Good luck at work tomorrow. Um, I mean, there are people who live and die by train shows in this hobby. Like, that's where they. Thank you, Ravenhawk. Anyways, no T1 talk. Don't even say it. Anyways, uh, there are people who live and die by train shows in this hobby. And where I'm at on Long Island, there's one train show that happens 3 times a year, and it's not really all that great of a train show. So, um, yeah, I mean, it's whatever. Um, the Greenberg train show that I went to was really nice, and I could have stayed there for hours, but like I said, I couldn't stay around. And it's unfortunate that the Greenberg train shows, especially in the bigger East Coast states, are being canceled because of COVID restrictions. Sid, you got your TCA badge for 2021. Well, hopefully you can use it to get into the York train show. All right, guys. So I figure I'll stay on for about another 10 more minutes. I do have, work I need to do tonight. But yeah, Michael, I was gonna go to the Edison train show that they were going to do at the end of November, but that was canceled by the governor because of rising COVID cases. But Matt's Trains and Tractors, take care. And Sid, yeah, York is a two-day train show. You can barely get through the halls in one day. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to figure out how to do 2 days at York, but we'll figure it out. And York would be a great time whenever we're finally able to attend large in-person indoor gatherings like that. But you know, before I wrap things up, I just wanted to repeat the giveaway again. So once again, it is for an Amtrak poster. In order to enter, make sure you're subscribed to my channel. Make sure you're subscribed to the Model Train Talk podcast channel, and email proof of being subscribed to the two to rjtrainsyt@gmail.com, and all of that information is in the description below. So, all right, Matt's Trains, take care, and thank you. Will do, Dachman. The Edison Train Show, that's it's about an hour drive for me, but it's across a bridge, so it's kind of far. I don't like leaving my slimy rock, as my friends call it, for too long. That's Long Island. But next time that they do the Edison Train Show, do plan on going, especially since a lot of the, not a lot, so a couple of guys who own the original Thomas the Tank Engine props, they set up and show off the props at that train show, which is something I really want to see in person, because the only other places where you can see that is in Drayton Manor, which is a theme park in the UK, in Manchester, and a railroad museum in Japan. Looks like I'm starting to set up a Edison train show meetup. Once it gets going again. Yeah, Michael, it's an $18 toll for the George Washington Bridge. But if you take the George Washington Bridge into Jersey and you take the Verrazano back onto Long Island, you don't pay any toll. So if you're a real cheapskate, then that's what you can do. I've done it once just to not pay the toll, but sometimes it's worth it, sometimes it isn't. Yeah, Michael, only good thing in New Jersey. The only thing worse of being out of Long Island is when you're in Jersey. Hello, Three Rails in Colorado, or CO. Corey, I mean, I'm sure there aren't 47 O scale layouts at Amherst, so what's the point of filming all of the other layouts? So the one video that I filmed from the Greenburgh train show in Virginia, a guy actually commented on my video, and he was like, well, the engine in the thumbnail, that's my locomotive running on the layout at the train show, which I thought was pretty funny. I wasn't expecting somebody to comment on that video, and it's actually a really unpopular video compared to my other videos on my channel. So that's funny. RJ, there are barely any O scale layouts at Amherst. It was surprising. Well, I think someone said that it's mainly an HO scale layout show. From what I see online, it's mainly an HO scale layout. But Corey, that just means it's easier for you to figure out what layouts to film, because O scale is the one true scale in the model railroading world. Ian, I think you should keep it Ian's Trains. Even though you're only focusing on O scale trains, It makes it more inclusive. So it makes it more, it makes it less inclusive, so that maybe somebody who likes HO scale or N scale train still check out your channel, because it doesn't market itself as just a O scale channel. Which modeling video have you done that has been most successful? So I determined successfulness in terms of views. And so for that, it was a video of running trains at a club layout open house in Farmingdale, New York. That video is at like 25,000 views last time I checked it. And it's just like, to me, it's not a great video. It's less than 5 minutes. Like, I could have done a lot more with that video, but I didn't. And so part of me regrets I didn't film more, because it's really just it's a good video for my channel, and it's gotten me about a tenth of my subscribers. Like, I think I've gained over 100 subscribers just from people watching that one video alone. But it's my most successful video, but there's so much more that I think I could have done better, looking at it from a creator-wise a year later. All right, Ian, take care. Thank you for stopping in tonight. Yeah, Michael, you have HO in your house now. That's just the plague. I know your son's into it, but we gotta graduate him up into O scale before the HO scale bug really bites him. O scale, HO scale, no good. Bob says his first train I ever got was a Southern Pacific 262, 1961. It still runs perfect. That's the thing about Lionel post-war. You could run it all these years later and it still works perfectly. Like my 2025, which is from the late 40s, still runs perfectly. Bengals 444T. What are some places you want to railfan in the future? Any interesting places to railfan at? So a couple of buddies and myself, we're thinking about taking a trip out to Horseshoe Curve in Pennsylvania, just because that's kind of a landmark spot for rail fans alike to watch trains, or at the very least take an Amtrak ride through Horseshoe Curve just for the heck of it. So Horseshoe Curve's probably top of the list in places to rail fan. Other than that, there are some places in southeastern Tennessee that I would really like to rail fan at. There are some really good places to shoot trains there. But I just don't know enough about the local area and the train schedule there to really get a good grasp of it. But I want to see a lot more mainline freight. I've been seeing a lot of CSX lately, but I'm more of an NS guy, despite them rejecting my job application. Ian has a 1938 Lionel steam locomotive. That's awesome. Yeah, Dachman, you never know what video is going to do good. Like, even in the past couple of weeks, like my Menards unboxing video, I thought that would be like 200, 300 views, and there was 1,000 views in less than 24 hours, which is the best a video has ever done on my channel. Sometimes the YouTube algorithm just picks it up and runs with it, and I mean, I'm not complaining. All right, so unless there are if there are any more questions out there, then I'll answer them now, so get them in. But other than that, I think I'm going to wrap up the live stream here. It's always been good to, sit down, talk with you guys. And this is going to be the last live stream from the apartment. I go back to the layout next week. So it's going to be exciting. Lots of new train videos coming. Lots of new unboxing videos coming. New stuff coming with the MTH DCS system that I picked up. So it's going to be a great time. But with that, everybody, I'm going to sign off here. So take care and stay safe. And have a good night, everybody.